Hey, if you're new here, I'm Shayna, and we're reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 8. Can you believe we're already on Episode 8? Like, the weddings took up 4 episodes. I'm just going to get right into it. Let's talk about Mafs. So I'm going to start with Justin and Alexis. Mafs is so long. I just go couple by couple for this particular show. So Alexis tells her sister about the dog fight. She says that Justin's dog will have to stay with a friend if the two dogs continue to go at it. Alexis tells her sister that she and Justin told each other they love each other. However, she's not in love with him. She just has love for him because they are strangers. And her sister, of course, says that's a very strong word. It's really soon. It's only been 2 weeks. You know, anything that anybody would typically say at this point to their loved one. So we move on, and Alexis and Justin had an argument because Newton was vomiting and hadn't eaten in 2 days. He was vomiting blood, which is very serious. He clearly needs to see a vet as soon as possible. Justin hasn't been communicating. And all I can think is, one, I am so sorry to hear that about Newton. That is just, I can't even imagine being that scared. And for 2, now Alexis, we got to watch what we say. Here's the hard. Where was the hard? Here's the hard part. This is the difficulties of marriage. Communication is, you know, often an issue in relationships in general. And you two are strangers. So, you know, I can see how that can be very difficult. But some of the things that Justin didn't say, I think he was afraid of her reaction and maybe afraid that he can't handle the situation. He also mentioned that she shuts down, but, you know, he should have said something. This was serious. This wasn't something to sweep under the rug. So Alexis and Justin are having a 90s themed housewarming, and I'm thinking, I know they do this for, you know, TV or whatever, but since when did housewarmings need a theme? It's just like with the wedding themes. Like if y'all watched that show back in the day, I think it was like 4 brides or 4 weddings or something like that. And each bride went to each other's weddings to decide who was going to go on a honeymoon. It used to come on TLC. And they used to have the theme. And one bride was like, the theme is the wedding. Like the wedding is the theme. That's the theme. And that's how I feel about the house party. It's a house party. I mean, there's food, eat some food, drink some drink, and bring a gift. But, you know, they have a 90s theme party. I love the 90s. So, you know, I love the theme. However, they did not tell all of their friends about the theme. But we'll get into that a little later. So Alexis is looking for candy for the theme. Justin shows up, and they have a conversation about what happened with Newton. And he told her he thought he was helping. But how did you think you were helping by not telling her that her dog hadn't eaten in 2 days and was vomiting blood? Now, I can't lie to you. I'm going to keep it straight 100. If I felt like this with you, I know she loves her dog and she considers her dog, you know, her child. But if you can't tell me the truth about this, wouldn't you tell me about our kids in the future if we were to have them? That's a concern and a possible red flag. So Alexis is taking off her mic. She's ready to run. She's ready to do what she said in previous episodes that she does best. Run and leave the situation. You can't run though. You're married. So you have to work things out. Y'all are still getting to know each other, and he's already on edge because he felt like he messed up. So I'm trying to see both sides here. So Alexis, when they get to the housewarming party, and, you know, not everyone shows up with the 90s theme because they didn't tell everyone because, you know, they were having differences. The friends get there, but they still, you know, lay everything out. Alexis just gets straight to it and vents to the friends about her frustrations with the communication. She feels like it's manipulation because he's not telling her everything. I don't quite think it's manipulation, but it's definitely a lack of communication. She goes out with Justin's friends, and Justin's friend, I forgot his name, but he was saying that it's a male thing. You know, they don't always remember everything. They're not always great with communication. I chalk it up to you being strangers, and you're just not going to talk about every single thing in the first 2 weeks of knowing someone. Alexis said that her heart's in this because, you know, the friend's wife had asked, does she love him? She says she does. Same thing she told her sister. She loves him. She's not in love with him, but even when she was upset with him, she was still thinking of him when she was shopping, buying his favorite shower gel and whatnot. So she's saying her heart is in it. Later on, the girls meet towards the end of the episode, and she's, you know, bringing up her concerns again. And Sasha tells her she needs to basically be patient with Justin. And Sasha said that she herself doesn't remember everything when she's speaking to Nate because it's so new. We're going to move on to Morgan and Ben. So Ben meets with his friend James, and Morgan meets with her friend Carl, and they're kind of, you know, intertwining the conversations and going back and forth with this particular scene. So they both discuss that there's a lack of trust with their friends. Morgan in particular has a lack of trust for Ben. And, you know, Morgan says she's not happy. And Carl tells her she needs to just open up. Like, she can't stay closed off, and she needs to let this go. This is the first tiff, you know, first lover spat, and you just got to let it go and move on. You can't hold on to it. And Justin's friend basically lets him know that, you know, it takes time to get to know someone. People who've been together for years still are learning each other, and that is very true. You can live with someone, marry them. We're always evolving and growing, so you're always learning each other, and you two flat out just don't know each other. And already you had an argument, and you haven't moved on from it, so it's hard to get to know each other in this situation. Their housewarming party is taco themed. This is my favorite theme because we didn't have to do any of this dressing up. I love tacos. You know, it's one of my favorite foods. So they just got right to the good stuff. Eating and drinking. You know, that's what people come to party for. So Ben's friends asked about the honeymoon. And Morgan gets upset and says he's not being honest. Maybe he doesn't want to have friction at the housewarming party. Also, she keeps saying all this talk about honesty, but the whole reason they had the issue to begin with is because she lied. We keep glossing over the fact that she did tell a story. She told a tall tale. But, you know, that's fine. So Ben admits, you know, with her friend that he blew it out of proportion, that he did. Yes, she lied. Yes, he blew it out of proportion, and he was loose-lipped. But we're not going to keep acting like she didn't play a part in this, because she did. He said he apologized continuously. Her friend said, okay, if you keep doing it and keep apologizing, eventually it's going to lose its meaning. If he's genuinely sorry and he's getting to know her, he doesn't know what else to do. If he doesn't say anything, then she'll feel like he's not saying anything. It's almost a lose-lose situation here. Morgan just needs to decide if she's going to let it go or not. Ben's friends basically tell her to let it go, move on. You have to let this go. If it kept happening and he kept doing it, I could see, but this was just a isolated event that you lied about. So later on, you know, they're meeting. We know already that the guys are meeting with the guys at the end of the episode. The girls are meeting with the girls. Ben made a comment that he may be allergic to cats because every time he comes home, you know, the allergy symptoms are coming. And the ladies suggest to Morgan that Ben and Morgan go on a date, spend some time alone together, and just try to move forward. And that's the common theme between them. Everybody's saying, Morgan, move on and let it go. Move forward, or there's just flat out no hope. We have Kristen and Mitch next. So Kristen meets with her friend Joanna. And she discusses Mitch's clutter, his cleanliness or lack thereof. And Joanna says he's not a hoarder, is he? I can't diagnose anyone, but I see potential. Kristen also says maybe as well. And she says, wait until you see that stove. Please don't show anybody that stove, please. We've seen enough. So Joanna urges Kristen to tell Mitch about her previous engagement. Kristen says she's not quite comfortable because every time she shared it with someone, they, you know, kind of held it against her and basically blamed her for being mistreated and being cheated on, which is crazy. But yes, sometimes you open up and vent to people and they will take that information and throw it in your face. And so you really have to be leery and give it time to decide if you want to share that information. I mean, she can mention it, but I don't think she needed to go into like great detail unless he asks. I just didn't see why it was so urgent to share. Yes, this is a part of my life. I don't need to go into everything about it. She's trying to move forward in this current marriage. But just, I guess, to let him know a part of herself. We actually move on, and she tells him about it. And she tells him the entire situation and what happened, and how that she decided to go through with the destination wedding without a groom, and all of her RSVP showed up and they had a great time. He thought that was kind of weird. She didn't, and she was, slightly offended by it, but, she didn't stay on that too long. I thought it was kind of rude in that moment when she was sharing for him to say that was weird. But after he said that, he did clean it up, and he was there for her. He held her hand. He said, that doesn't bother me at all. It wasn't your fault, and I'm not going to treat you the same way he did. And so Mitch is really trying to turn things around here. It seems like the couples who have consummated the marriage are, on happier terms right now. At least right now they are. So they get to their party. It is a futuristic theme where they use recycled like party favors and things like that. And Kristen said Mitch made her take all the plastic cups that they were using for Jell-O shots and replace them with metal ones, and she had to spend twice as much. Why did she have to spend anything? If you don't like it, you go buy it. Since you are, saving the planet, save her money and go get the cups you want. But Mitch is saying no touching at the party. They're going to do this so no germs. They need to be worrying about touching your hands, Mitch. You the one that don't wash your hands. Your stove is looking the way it want to look. I didn't see hand sanitizer. You bathe in dirt in a dirty tub. So let's not do that. But I mean, with everything going on, you can't be too careful. So it's good for both parties to just wave. So Kristen's friends, they don't want her to do all of the bending. She was saying she wanted to do the next party, but it was so difficult. She meets with her friends. They kind of go to the side. I thought they were supposed to meet with each other's friends. That's typically what they've done in the past, but Kristen and Mitch didn't. They met with their own friends. And they were saying, she's doing a lot of compromising and bending, but he needs to do some compromising and bending. She can't be, that seems to be a theme with her. When she talks about her ex, she did all the bending, she paid for the wedding, she bought her own engagement ring, she did this, she did that. And don't let these men run over you. If he cares for you, he will bend too. He complained to his friends about her snoring dog and called it a useless creature. And I thought that was quite mean. I don't think she's going to be happy about that when she sees it. This is her beloved dog. Why would you sit there and say something like that? If you don't like the snoring, you don't like the snoring. But her dog is not a useless creature. What if somebody thought your way of thinking with all your plastic and everything else was useless? We know it's not, and it's helping the earth. But, don't tear somebody else's, their thing they love, or the person they love, or their animal, their pet. Don't do that. It was just mean. So her friends have a concern about his lack of relationships. He's 41 years old, and he really hasn't had any serious relationships. And that can definitely be a concern. That can be a bit of a red flag. We just have to see how he moves forward in this marriage. Because right now he's trying. Let's see in the long term. Really, let's see after decision day. But we're going to see the 8 weeks for right now. So Kristen tells the ladies later on that she's happy in her marriage. He did a complete 180, and that, of course, they consummated the marriage, and they've been doing it nonstop. That's why he did a 180. So we'll see what's going on with them. I don't know if the high of when they, after all the consummating of the marriage comes down, where they'll be. But I agree with the friend, she can't be the only one making all the sacrifices. Stasha and Nate. So Nate meets with his friend Derek, and he tells his friend he's going to therapy. She's been going and he wants to go. She's having a hard time with him not expressing his emotions. So he's going to try to work on that. And that's great that he's taking that into consideration. And now we see, if you saw the preview like I did for next week, we'll see, how that goes. But for right now, I think it's great. I think if everyone, if you feel that you need to speak with someone, go speak to someone if you can. So Sasha and Nate have a 70s themed party. They look really cute together. Nate tells Sasha Ooh, Lord. Ignore that noise in the back. That was my trash can. So Nate tells Sasha's sisters that he's nervous about having kids. He said he's nervous about having kids because he's never seen her with kids, and, you know, she doesn't even want a dog and this and that. Every time we talk about children, it seems like his reasoning behind it changes. First, he just wanted to wait 3 to 5 years. He wasn't, you know, quite ready yet. They're getting to know each other. Then it was the finances. He has to make this amount. Then he's never seen her with kids. Nate, tell us just a firm reason why you don't want to do it. If you don't want to do it, just say why you don't want to do it. Nate's friends also have a conversation with Sasha about the children because, you know, she's saying, hey, I'm getting closer to 40 and, you know, the clock is ticking. And they're saying that, you know, he may be hesitant due to his abandonment issues with his mom. You know, he hasn't really had that, and he hasn't even really had a lot of serious relationships. And with the abandonment issues, that could be a reason why he's hesitant. Now, she understands him because she also experienced that as a childhood with her father, just like he did with his mother. And that may be why she really wants to have a child, because of that. So they just have to talk to each other. They also discussed the therapy and just her having patience with him because she's been going and he's just starting to go. So she has to be patient and give him time with that. And I think they should go separately and together as well, especially when it comes to the child issue, because she feels like her clock is ticking and she wants to do this sooner rather than later. So Nate tells the guys they have not consummated the marriage. He said they had dessert after dinner. Justin said what we all were thinking, what does that even mean? And he said, you know, he's a giver. So, you know, he gave her a little dessert after dinner. He's not selfish. So, you know, we'll see. I still think that they may have possibly, in my opinion, done the grown-up, but that's just what I'm thinking. They said they haven't, so they've done other things. Every season, the couple say, oh, we haven't, but we've done, you know, everything up to. We'll see. We'll see what happens with this. And she may be holding out because he's hesitant, you know, and not fully reassuring her about the future with kids and etc. So we have Lindy and Miguel. They were a little spicy this episode. Miguel speaks so highly of Lindy to his friend Steve, like she's just perfect and can do no wrong. And I told y'all, these couples that consummated the marriage, once the women get, you know, they go ahead and consummate with the man, the man turns around, does a 180 and is like speaking as if they're angels. But, you know, people are not perfect, so let's not put them on a pedestal. But I'm glad that he is complimenting her and speaking highly of her, even when she's not around. So their party theme is contestants on a game show. And I'm glad she said it because I didn't know what was going on. He was a pimp. She was a pizza. I saw grapes. I didn't know if it was a food theme. I saw somebody dressed like they were on, you know, that 70s show. I wasn't quite sure what was happening. But, you know, they followed through with their game and they did a newlywed game. And, you know, they got a lot of the questions right. And, you know, the friends and family were surprised that they knew so much about each other in such a short period of time, which is good. They are communicating and talking about little things, important things, everything. So Lindy says she's hesitant to take Miguel's name, and she lets his friends know that. She's hesitant to take his last name. She is a doctor. You know, I understand with all that work that you've done that your last name holds so much meaning. But she's also concerned because she says she doesn't have insurance right now and he won't put her on his health insurance. And if you won't protect her, you don't want to show her that you're in this for the long haul and that you are willing to be that protector that she needs in a husband. And why on earth would she take your last name? That's a big deal. It's not, you know, she's worked hard and her name has meaning. It holds weight. The friends were saying, you know, it's still early on and he may be feeling like the same, but vice versa. Why would I do all that and you're not willing to take my last name? You're a stranger to me as well. So I need to know that you're in this beyond the 8 weeks by taking my last name. And so that's understandable. But I think her reasoning is valid. It's valid as well. So after the party, they're in bed and Lindy lets Miguel know that she needs more security before taking his last name, as she should. You know, she wants to combine finances. She wants to do everything that married couples do. And the insurance is a big deal. He said, you know, wives, this is his beliefs. They typically take their husband's last name before they start doing these things. So he doesn't, in the way that her tone, he didn't like it. He said he doesn't like this side of her. He didn't appreciate her tone or the way she was speaking, but she felt very strongly about it. Now, Lindy tells the ladies later on that, you know, about how she felt about taking his last name. We had some mixed responses. Kristen said that she's Team Miguel. She understands. Sasha said that, you know, she understands Lindy's side. It's not a small fee. It's a big deal. So a lot to talk about. And she said she does want to take his last name. She just needs to be reassured. And she's going to need a lot of reassurance. I can tell already. So without him doing that, you know, or letting her know, especially because he brought up the 8 weeks so often in the beginning, I think it put doubt in her mind on top of her already thinking about it herself that made her leery about doing this. So I think once he just gives her that, then she'll gladly take his name. I mean, you know, why wouldn't she want to? Even they can compromise and she can hyphenate. And that can be the end of it. He ends up telling her that he's going to put her on his insurance. He agrees to do that for her. It will protect her. She's happy. She said that's all she wanted. And so I think that she will end up taking his last name. But we got to see what happens on decision day first. You know, we're in week 2. We got 6 weeks to go. Y'all know anything can happen. So let me know down in the comments what you're thinking. Who do you think is going to make it? What do you think of, you know, the season so far, especially the turnaround between Alexis and Justin? Let me know your thoughts. I'll be in the comments. And please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with a friend. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.